ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living.
Good morning, John.
Still.
Still?
Still living.
Barely. Who am I? Peggy Burton.
Peggy Burton, that's who you are.
I'm so glad to be here.
Look at all those flowers back there. It's fall
Yeah.
time.
Oh.
Old pumpkin up on top of that thing over your head.
Yeah, that's my friend.
That's a little toboggan. You know, I don't
like all your little
I don't
guys.
mean to give away a free advertisement, but I do like going to Cracker Barrel. And they have
remodeled.
little hats and outfits for little
Yeah.
babies. And so that's what I buy, little things to put on candles. And Jimmy D's hiding somewhere. We'll find him one day.
I know. I can't understand where that
That dog went. He's old dog. He's hiding somewhere. How are you?
my.
You good?
I am. I'm okay. I've survived a flu shot.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And oh my goodness, I didn't know
It
was
wasn't
gonna-
fun though, was
It was
it?
not fun. It was. I had a 3-day case of the flu. I don't want to make you scared out there because I obviously needed it.
Well, you know, some people take those kind of shots and some don't. I've never been one much to invite any kind of infection into me.
I know. Well,
I get infected enough on my own.
I'm not blaming it on the shot, really, but I was sick for 3 days. So,
Well, you know, and maybe that'd keep you from getting sick and dying with it, you know.
right,
But
for 10 days. Yeah, that's
I've sort of always looked at the numbers and said, okay, before COVID, this many people died of the flu every year, and then all of a sudden people died of COVID, and for some reason nobody died of the flu that year.
yeah, that is
You know, so the
interesting, isn't it?
numbers of how many people are dying is about the same.
It's about the
They just
same.
transferred the guilt.
You know, I think we need to stop and just take a moment of prayer in our hearts for the people that have suffered in this last hurricane.
And there's another one coming into
Another one
Florida
coming,
today that's worse.
I'm really proud of Tennessee because they've sent truckloads of goods to East Tennessee. My husband's from East Tennessee.
Yes.
So
Where?
Kingsport.
Kingsport, that's way east.
But but his family, a lot of his family is in Jonesboro,
Yeah.
and they were kind of on the outer edge of it, but
That's the part of Tennessee that was stayed with the Union.
Yeah,
And I guess until recently, that was the sort of from Knoxville east was the Republican side of the state, when the Democratic Party, you know, was
Yeah.
Tennessee was Democratic forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But that was the Republican end up there that went with
but
the
went with the Union soldiers. Yeah, I need
Brothers,
that.
that's where they talk about, you know, brothers fighting brothers and kinfolk fighting
Yeah.
each other because they lived close and
I guess that's the
chose a
most
different
horrible. War is always horrible, but
Sure.
I think that's the most horrible war that I can even consider because of soldiers just lined up by the thousands and being hit right off with
yeah.
with bullets. Just makes me ill thinking about it.
You know, and that piece in 1776 that we did, where that play we did at South Jackson, where they had a screen that was a sort of a see-through screen, and the soldier, the song, the soldier
Yeah.
coming home. I'm up on the stage, one of the characters, and I'm crying while that's going on.
Oh yeah, every time I've heard that song. Ricky Mines did that the first time I did the orchestra both times.
Right.
And they were 30 years apart, but I will never forget Ricky Mines singing that song. I can't think of the name of it even, but I mean, it just wiped me out,
Yeah, it's tough stuff.
really.
And there's wars going on right now over in the Middle East. They're bombing, everybody's bombing everybody again, it seems like. And
I guess my horror is nuclear. What's going to happen when they start hitting us with nuclear warfare?
hopefully they won't. Hopefully they're smarter than that.
Well, finally, we have a missile that stops a missile,
Right.
and that's helpful.
Yes, it is, very much.
Very
much
helpful.
so.
And so you just have to kind of get shivers when you think who's in charge of hitting that button. I hope they know what they're doing.
Or
and
not
I-
hitting it.
And I hope that I hope they're not losing their mind. Do you realize that when you are in one of those places that watch for those kind of things, you're never there by yourself? But I knew a guy, and he was in wherever this place was, with one other guy for months on end. You know, that was part of his assignment. And what he said to me was, you were always afraid you'd just go nuts. You know, because you were secluded, and anyway, it sounds scary, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about it, you know, but you know, people get put in situations like that. There's when we go to the Orange Blossom over in Winchester, listen to some music, there's a guy that was in Nam, and he was a tunnel rat.
Yeah.
And his job was to, when they'd find the tunnels, he's the one that they would
He's the
send
one
in
that-
to see if there was anybody live in there. And of course, if there was, you turn a corner, and there's liable to be 20 guys sitting there with guns pointed at you.
That's right.
I mean, you just never know what's going to be
That's
around
where the
next
robots
corner.
have come in
He's a
handy.
weird dude,
Yeah.
too.
At
And I'm
least
sure-
now we have robots that'll go into places
Sure.
like that, and that's, to me, that's an amazing advance in warfare, because at least it saves some lives, and
Until they take over.
until they take over. I've always wondered about that maybe, just maybe, we were high-class robots ourselves.
In
You
a
ever thought
way.
about that?
Yeah, sure.
You know, we're just well-developed or something.
Well, you know, there's all kinds of theories about how that monkey got from crawling to right here, and then all of a sudden, it took him millions of years to get there, and all of a sudden, in about a couple thousand years, he makes a leap into mankind.
Yeah.
Who was messing with what then?
Yeah,
you know?
if that's really the way it happened.
Sure, nobody knows.
Nobody knows for sure, but it's an amazing amount of life out there I mean, think of all the different cats. Little cats, bobcats, wildcats, lions, leopards, and all that.
Big cats.
Such a variety of cats.
And the domestic, not the feral cat, but the domestic house cat is the deadliest prey on earth. Kills more things than man. Animals trying to kill themselves, cats kill. They kill everything.
Yeah, Jazz brought up a
Lizard?
a red-throated woodpecker. It was a beautiful woodpecker. Now, I actually think the woodpecker had run into the window around my sunroom, because it's so many windows. But Jazz was prancing around with it in his mouth. And I don't think he
Bring
killed
it into
him.
Mama. Look what I got, Mama.
He was so proud.
Fran comes to me and she
Made me
says, "Go
sad.
get that whatever it is out of the floor in there." I go in there and there it is. It's a rat. It's a lizard.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
Well, what was supposed to happen this week that didn't happen? Was it 41A? Almost.
41A happened.
It
No, that was
happened, I
last week.
know.
We have some video of that we're
Oh,
going to show
good,
today.
good.
But
Well, I took the flu shot, so I was
So you were out.
flued
You
in.
were
I
out.
was out like
You
a
know,
light.
I was looking through some old stuff. It's amazing when you write that you write, you know, you look, how do you write something? And somebody says, well, what kind of mood were you in when you wrote that? What made you write that? Did you go through that? And I went, well, no, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to write I'm trying to look at a character in a bar, or look at a character in a grocery store, or whatever, and try to figure out what they're thinking
And so
to make
then-
them do what they're doing.
And then you write
Not that
about
I
it.
do it.
Yeah.
But this one right here, This is true, though. I was up in Nashville back years ago when I was going up there about twice a week, in search of the dream, which is 40 years ago, and I'm still searching, but I'm still dreaming.
Good.
You know? So I went into this place, and this guy, I had an appointment with him, and I knocked on the front door, and nobody answered the door. Finally, I went around, I saw somebody going in a side door. So I thought, well, there's somebody in there, so I'm going in. So I followed the next one in the side door. Well, that was the private door.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the midst of a bunch of these music cats, Nashville cats, you know. And they said, who are you? And I said, well, I'm supposed to have a meeting with so-and-so. Is he here? No, he's over somewhere else. Said, what do you got? And I said, oh, I got a song or two. I'm trying to see if anybody wants. And I did this, that. And he said, hey, that's pretty good stuff. Said, why don't you go? We're getting ready to go to the Bluebird.
And so you went with him?
So we'll go to Bluebird. I said, where's your car? And I said, out front. And they said, well, you go out front and we'll wait on you and you follow us. You know, so I pull around there. Well, by the time I get around there, I see them leaving me. Yeah. You know, they wasn't ever planning on taking me anywhere. So I wrote this right here. It's called Throw the Fat in the Fire.
Okay.
Ever wonder how, if you're strong enough to grab the thing you want, taking chances is risky, so most people don't. By standing back and watching, you won't get what you desire, so walk up to the flame and throw the fat in the fire. The competition's stiff out there, so you work twice as hard, watching as the game gets played in someone else's yard. The party's always going on, but no one seems to care that you just might be good enough to be one of them there. So throw the fat in the fire. Will it cook? Will it burn? Throw caution to the wind and see what can be learned. Climb out on that limb. Will it break? Or will it bend or will it break? Throw the fat in the fire. That's a chance you've got to take. You show your best to would-be peers, and they send you away. But with hard work and persistence, there will come a day your efforts are rewarded. It's your day in the sun. And when the party is for you, they'll all be glad to come. So throw the fat in the fire. Will it cook? Will it burn? Throw caution to the wind. See what can be learned. Climb out on that limb. Will it bend or will it break? Throw the fat in the fire. It's a chance you've got to take. Yes, throw the fat in the fire. It's a chance you got to take.
John, I've been wanting to ask you, when did you start writing like this? You're so good at it. Have you been doing it all your life?
When I was in my 20s.
In your 20s?
Yeah.
So you did.
I mean, I wrote my first song when I was 12.
You still have it in your head?
No. It was about a little bird going tweedledee. I'll tell you what, though, Halliburton Puckett still remembers it.
Really?
Old Mr. Puckett, Jim Puckett, thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I'd written a song. And that Puckett boys can sing that song right now.
Oh, really?
But I can't remember it, but they can.
That's great.
And so here's an old boy right here. Well, we'll take that fat in the fire. Here, we'll take a girl. So I tried to write. I was thinking about, girls sing songs. I need to write a girl song.
Okay.
It's hard to do when you're a boy.
Yeah.
So, but you try. And so this is about a girl who's had all of it she wants. You know, she's tired of it.
Tired of it.
She was in a corner booth drinking scotch with water back when a stranger stooped and asked her for a dance. She was all alone on purpose. She'd planned her night that way, and the last thing she needed was another cheap romance. His voice was firm and gentle, and so were his eyes. He wouldn't take no for an answer, and he's still by her side. Oh, he's not a stranger anymore. Last night they went to paradise right through heaven's door. He might be a lot of things, but there's one thing for sure. He's not a stranger anymore. She hated cooking breakfast, but the eggs were on the stove, scrambling in that same old frying pan. She thinks it's Grandma Morton, the one that told her so. You got to keep him fed if you want to keep your man. Then he walked in the kitchen like he had 1,000 times, whispered in her ear, I love you, dear, and I'm so glad that you're mine. I'm so glad that you're mine. Oh, he's not a stranger anymore. Last night they went to paradise right through heaven's door. He might be a lot of things, but there's one thing for sure. He's not a stranger anymore. So
That's
she
kind
was.
of nice.
Huh?
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. And you can put in, you can add Grandma Morton was Fran's grandmother.
Oh.
You can add your maiden name as needed.
Right.
So she marries this guy,
Does the picture change?
and he's a country music kind of a guy. Now this is a different song because this starts earlier. I wrote this about one of those traveling groups like what are the Lady A, and those groups that are 4 and 5 of them.
Yeah.
And a guy, I was thinking, they go out on the road, and they're on the road a long time. How hard can that be on a family?
It is hard.
And the things that you're attracted to or that are thrown in your face that you shouldn't do, but you can't help yourself. And so this is about a long-term romance.
A long-term romance. Okay.
I remember back in high school when we first started to date, her daddy's word but gospel, so I never kept you out late. He'd meet us at the front door, I'd say goodbye and hurry home. Couldn't wait to get my goodbye kiss over the telephone. Remember that junior high? I'll stop right there. Remember junior high when you'd get on the phone or the first time and you'd talk.
Yeah.
And it was just like being together because you're talking, and then
talking,
you'd kiss each other over the telephone. Oh, can't get better, but it does. And the high lines would burn. I'd get my good night. Well, I couldn't wait to get my good night kiss over the telephone. And the high lines would burn between my house and yours. Our romance would continue behind closed bedroom doors, where young love's tender words kept us talking on. And then I'd get my goodnight kiss over the telephone. After graduation, we both went our separate ways. You to college, me to anywhere they'd let me sing and play. Our love was on hold, but the feelings were never gone. And every week or so, I'd let you know over the telephone. And the high lines would burn between your room and mine. We'd share our hopes and fears, disappointments and good times. There were miles and miles between us, but the distance never too long to call and get a goodnight kiss over the telephone. Now I'm the opening act for a hot new country show. A dream come true, the money's great, but sometimes I hate to go. City after city, Lord, the road sure does get long. And it's great to hear, I love you, dear, over the telephone, and the high lines burn between our house and my hotel room. I say how much I miss you and that I'll be home soon. And I don't know how I'd make it through all these nights alone if I couldn't get my goodnight kiss over the telephone.
Sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
It's a little bit like
Yeah, well, it turns bad. It turns bad, and here's what happens. Would you please take my keys and hang them on the peg? Don't give them back to me no matter how I beg. Mix me a big old drink as strong as you can get it, because I'm going to get drunk today, and Lord, I sure do dread it. Now give me that bottle and throw the lid away. Don't try to change my mind. There's nothing you can say. If the jukebox gets a little loud, hell, let's just let it, because I'm going to get drunk today, and I know I'm going to dread it. I thought I'd drank her off my mind many years ago. Washed away that memory, but I guess it just ain't so. Seeing her again let that hurt back in, and I can't forget it. So I'm going to get drunk today, and Lord, I'm going to dread it. If I never saw you again, it would be okay. Then I wouldn't have to do what I'm doing today. The thought of you could make me blue, but I ain't gonna let it, 'cause I'm gonna get drunk today. And Lord, I'm gonna dread it. I thought I'd drink you off my mind many years ago, washed away your memory, but I guess it just ain't so. Seeing you again let the hurt back in, and I can't forget it. So I'm gonna get drunk today, and Lord, I'm gonna dread it. When I wake up in the morning, I know I'm gonna regret it. Because I'm going to get drunk today, and Lord, I sure do dread it.
Oh,
so,
John.
with that said, take you through the ins and outs of love, regret, hate, and I just can't do without you, baby. We'll be right back after these messages.
That's great.
Hey, John,
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Saul, how's my water quality expert? Litter is taking a holiday and going with the flow? Is that what you're saying? Oh, litter on our roadways is flowing into our waterways. Gotcha. And that's bad. Right, terrible. Please stop. Oh, okay, yeah. Go to NobodyTrashesTennessee.com to learn more. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Folks, I'm tickled to death to have this guest on with me today. Friend for years and years, a music man, a car man, a fix-it man, a sell-it man, a own-it man. Just one of those, and I got the greatest daddy in the world. Mr. Marty Scott's with us today.
Thank you, John.
I tell you what, I hadn't seen you in a while. What you into?
Well, building old cars right now. Kind of halfway retired, and so I get to work on
what you
just
want
old
to.
stuff.
What you want to.
Right, not everyday stuff. Build some of mine and take a couple of customers in every once in a while. You know, fit them in where I can, but and work on my dad's stuff.
Yeah.
His stuff comes
Leland's
first.
the man.
His stuff comes first, you know. But yeah, that's
well,
how we doing.
You know, Fran and I were going to, no, wasn't Fran. We were going with the football team to Lawrenceburg last Thursday. And we left here about 3:30, and we're headed down toward Lynchburg, of course, headed to Lawrenceburg. And I'll bet you there was 25 cars came up through there headed toward Tullahoma, and they all look like those old, like a Duesenberg, or they look like traveling cars.
Right.
A lot of them were convertibles. A lot of them looked like they might even have had a seat for a chauffeur. And evidently they were coming up here to Tullahoma for something, or headed, because I've never seen, I bet there's, like I say, there's 20 of them together.
How about there?
On the road. And usually you see one or two, but you don't see that many.
This time of year, there's a lot of stuff going on in different places. You know, like I said, Lynchburg has a lot of cruise-ins, and of course Chick-fil-A has a cruise-in now.
Well, somebody said that might be where they were going to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they have a cruise-in now. Avery and Manchester got a cruise-in. These
Shelbyville
on the square.
Clanton does one.
Yeah, on the square. The cruise-ins have about took over the car shows. Nobody really. They still are a few car shows left around. Even Southern Wheels in Motion here in town,
right,
which had the car show for years, one of the best ones around.
Yeah. Sal Jackson did it. Sal Jackson a whole lot.
Exactly, and it's turned into a cruise-in. It's a more laid back, relaxed. Some of the guys, get real serious about their cars and about these trophies. And if they didn't win a trophy, they want to pout and moan and groan, and then they've ruined their day because they didn't get the right trophy. And this way, everybody gets a plaque. You go to the cruise-in, sit around. If you want to go, then people come around, look at your car. If they like it, good. And if they don't, they'll walk on by and look at the next one.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. So that's pretty well took over the cars now.
Now, I'm gonna ask a question that somebody who had rather do anything in the world other than work on a car. I just don't have the patience for it.
Right. It takes that.
And I don't like sticky stuff on my fingers. Now, I work in the dirt. I've worked in the dirt my whole life. But if I get something, in between my fingers, and I got to stop. I got to go get that off of me.
You got to go wash your hands.
Right then. right then. Dirt, I'll go in. Manure, it doesn't make any difference as long as it's dry.
Well, I've been in both sides of that myself.
But how difficult, Marty, is it right now in your business to find genuine parts for some of these old cars to make them exactly what they were when they come off the showroom line?
To get the genuine parts, it's almost impossible. You can go online, you'll find OEM equipment, original parts and whatnot. Every once in a while, new old stock stuff that's from way back,
that
somebody's
finds
had
in
up
a
in
barn.
the attic or in a barn and whatnot. But on most of all the popular cars, the Camaros, Chevelles, Mustangs, T-Birds, stuff like that, they repop basically every part. They make them reproduction.
Right.
You find out through the years there's some companies that do a good job making them. Some companies are junk. They won't fit. No matter what you do, it takes you 3 times the time to try to make them work, and then at the end of the day you say, well, this just won't work. So we throw it away. But you can get some pretty good parts out there.
Well, it seems like to me, as far away from old as we are, like an old car, the only way you could find something pretty much is, like you say, either somebody has one that they're not going to fix up or can't fix up, and so they part it out and sell it.
And sometimes the parts have got so expensive. You brought up a good point there, is a lot of places around the country, especially out west where there's no rust and whatnot, they will part out a good car because they can get $2,000 for that fender.
Right.
And then they got 2 fenders, and they got a hood, and they got interior parts, and they got a motor and transmission. So
right.
By the time they get through, there's a lot of money in parts.
Right.
So you're exactly right.
My son right now is doing an old Plymouth, one of those early 40s Plymouth with all that chrome
Got
on
the
the front and everything. And it looks like those cars were real metal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They made out of real metal, and they all look like touring cars. And I've sort of kept up with it. And Jacob, I said, well, are you trying to make it back. He said, no. He said, I'm gonna put air conditioner in it, and I'm gonna put radio in it, and drop a new motor
where
in
he
it.
where he can drive it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Them cars, like I said, they were not, as far as today's times, they're not practical to drive at highway speeds. And if you don't drive that fast now, you get run over.
You're gonna hurt. You're gonna hurt somebody.
So now then, like I said, most people end up putting a modern day running gear in them.
Yeah.
They like to leave the body like it is.
Sure.
The classic nostalgia is there, but you can get in it, turn the key, got air conditioning. Mama don't mind riding.
Right.
Kids don't mind riding.
Right.
You know, run them up and down the road. That's where most of this is going. Used to, a lot of the cars, if you changed anything, you would ruin the value of them.
Right.
Nowadays, people want stuff that they can drive and enjoy, so they'll bring more money modified than they will originally anymore.
Sure. Well, we need to get around to the point of away from education just a bit and talk about the event that you've got coming up. That's why you're really here.
Well, what it is, this is C&J Tire and Brake. This is 10 years that we've done a cruise in there. We was talking about the cruise ins, how much fun you have. This is a great cruise in. Have a big time. Mike Cunningham does the music, but it's 10 years.
He's a car guy.
He's a car guy. But Carl and Janice at C&J, they like I said, this is 10 years. So they put on a big deal. They furnish everything. They've got food, drinks, shirts, this and that, something else. Don't cost you a dime. The only thing you have to do is bring a new toy. Whenever you come down there, the fire department brings the old fire truck down there, sets it, and we basically fill it up with toys.
Right.
So whenever you come to cruise in, bring a new toy or two, how many you want to bring.
Sure.
And you get to go over there. We throw it go in the fire truck, try to fill it up. We do a 50-50 drawing, try to raise some money for the kids. Every bit of this goes to local kids. Everything.
Outstanding.
Every dollar. We don't take anything out for what we spend on food and drinks and whatnot. Everything goes straight to the kids that day. There's no, got to be careful anymore. There's so many things out there that's good ideas, and they be good to donate to, but sometimes
where does the money go?
Sometimes it don't get to where. Yeah. Where does it go? The same day, it goes back with the fire truck. The money goes with them, and they distribute them out to kids here in town.
That's great.
Or locally, some in Manchester, but it's a really good deal, and we all have a good time. If you've never been to a cruise in, you like old cars, like old music, and you want to do something good for the community, it'd be a good one to
Now,
come
is
take.
there, speaking about music, what about the music side of your life, Marty Scott?
Well, I'm still playing a lot of music.
Now, will there be live music
no,
there?
No, won't be any there.
It'll be that old stuff.
Be the old stuff. Michael C. does a good job on.
Yeah,
like
that's
I said,
right.
plays our good music.
Yeah.
That we like. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like it all, but no, not really. I don't like it all. I don't like it all. I don't need to tell that lie, but I like a lot of it.
Well, I'll say one thing. My radio stays on 6:50 a.m.
That says a lot. The other day, we get back on this. The other day, I was listening to the radio. I'd called John up and had a bright spot in my morning. John, of course, writes a lot of great songs, but Beauty was on the radio.
On the radio, sure was.
And like I said, just a fantastic song. Brighten my morning.
Well, I appreciate it.
That's good country music there.
I appreciated the call. That was a big surprise to me in my life, and I'm gratified. People say, "Oh boy, I bet you made a bunch of money." No, you don't make money. You don't make a bunch of money off of stuff like that. What you do is you realize that after 40 years of putting a pencil to a piece of paper that you did something that was good enough one time.
You do have a little bragging rights. Everybody hadn't had a song on the radio, and then to have people to know it's your song when it's played on the radio, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
The lady
would be to me.
Yeah. Oh, it is. And if Ray would have stayed alive a little bit longer, it might have made some money. But he died. He died before it ever came out. But no. Marty gave me a call, and I you talk about a guy that can play and sing. This guy right here is just. If you hadn't heard him, I don't know where your band is working now. Where y'all working now?
We play at a lot of different places, John, but it's Yesterday's Wine. That's the name of my band. But now here in I think it's the 26th, where my car lot used to be, there's a little kind of a sports bar, whatnot, called Blokes.
Right.
We'll be playing there. They've built a new stage in the back. Really nice place. The best thing to do is just bring your lawn chairs. You can come in there, sit around. They've got picnic tables and all that kind of stuff, but you can bring your chairs. But we'll be playing whatever that Saturday is, the 26th or the 28th, whichever one that is.
Right.
But we'll be playing there, and like I said, we play at the VFWs, we play at the winery in Manchester, different places.
Good.
Different places.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
And it's exactly the same deal. We don't make no money, but it sure is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's wonderful for us who get a chance to listen.
Well. Like
this cat right here, he's special in many, many ways.
Well,
and I'm very, very proud to say he's a special friend.
Well, John, the feeling is mutual.
Long time. Marty Scott, don't forget this cruise in. Now that again is what?
C&J Tire and Brake. I think the 19th, I believe, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And like I said, come down. If you got a car, bring it. If you don't, bring a toy. You don't have to drive a car to bring a toy. You can bring. You can make a donation. We'll have 50-50 drawings. It'll be a lot of fun.
And just look at cars.
Exactly. And if you got any old cars to sell, call Marty. I'm always
Nobody
looking
else.
For them.
Don't call any of the rest of those folks. Call Marty Scott. My friend Marty Scott. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer across Stroop.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me. First night here, but Amy seems cool. Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see. What do you think? I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free. Take me down to the river and walk.
Hey folks, last weekend we had the 41A festival and they had a rain out day on Friday, but had a good night Saturday night. And what we're going to do right now is bring a band to you. I think you'll recognize the old boy singing, Mr. Jeff Banks and 2 Ton Hammer.
2 Ton Hammer. You guys take it away. Woo!
Hey, everybody here, you automatically went to VIP status with 2 Ton Hammer today. Thank you for being here. Come on. Even now, out on the road, I've been down before. Riding along on this big old jet plane, I've been thinking about my home. But my God, that seems so far away, and I feel like it's all that somebody's trying to make me stay.
My name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, right? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. Yeah, you even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old. But I am a camping influencer. You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
I'm so glad welcome back, by the way. I'm so glad to have with me Lyle Russell this morning. Lyle, you are the best person to get up and come right over here when I called.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I got up this morning and I checked into Facebook, and Lyle came up with an inspiration to me about something he experienced, and it had to do with a dream, right?
It did.
And I love this, so I don't have the whole thing in my head, but it just touched me so, and I wanted to hear about it again. So
yeah,
I'd like to know, it's a song, sort of, and I'd like to know how it came to you, because I know you're not a songwriter. You're out hunting ducks or taking care of chickens and, and owls and stuff like that. Yeah. So that just really touched me that you had visualized this.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the invite. First of all, thanks for having me on today.
Well, thanks for coming.
And, so a few years ago, I was a scoutmaster, and I had the privilege of working with kids in all facets of life.
That's awesome.
I had the kids who were, I hesitate to use the word privileged, but the kids that had a really good family background. I had some kids that didn't have a great family background. I had some kids who excelled, some who struggled, and I think that was one of the fun things about getting to do that.
Well, what a great experience for all these children to work off of each other. They learn from
and then even at Parks and Rec, I get to work with kids in an athletic capacity. So I've gotten to work with my own kids as well as a bunch of other people's. And one of the joys that I had doing that was being able to see them grow and become better versions of themselves, either through sport or skill or whatever it is that they were learning or doing. And when my time was up, when I was not going to be a scoutmaster anymore, that hit me a little bit. So, you have your emotional attachments to things like that. And so, but shortly thereafter, I had a very specific dream. I don't remember a lot of the visuals, but I remembered a lot of the, if you want to call it the soundtrack of that. There was a acoustic guitar song that just kind of hummed in the background that had some words about it, and there was some visuals of flowers growing and things like that. And we have some daffodils in our backyards, and we also, when I was at Parks and Rec, dealt with Project Daffodil, if you remember that a few years ago. And so those were kind of, I guess, a little close to the edge of the brain. But when I woke up, I couldn't remember a lot of what I saw, but I remembered almost everything I heard.
That's
and
awesome.
So, and I don't know if folks out there do this, but I know John does, because he's told me he does it before. Keep a pad of paper and a pen on your nightstand.
It's a good idea for everybody, regardless of what comes to your head. Write it down right then, or you'll forget.
Well, that's how this happened. I remembered the words to what I was hearing in my head, And so I wrote down as much as I could remember. And then I typed it out really neat and tried to put it into almost like a lyric sheet, if you want to call it that. And then it sat on my laptop, taking up memory for years. I never did anything with it. I just wrote it out and left it there. So now, about 2 weeks ago, I got to go to a class up in Nashville, and it was for a public information officer. And the group that I got put with was an incredibly creative group. And we had a class project where we had to use some component of artificial intelligence to bring our project to life.
That's awesome.
So I had seen, you know, if you're on social media, I'm sure you've seen some of the creators out there that will take an AI song and they'll make goofy words out of it, or they'll play along to it, or they'll take a song that, you know, they'll move it from one genre to another where you think it doesn't match, and it's really kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, we did that in our class. We made a song out of thin air
That's
for
awesome.
our project.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
AI put a voice to it, put music to it, and actually turned it into a 2.5 minute track. And I thought, you know, I started thinking,
maybe I'll dig up.
Yes, so I went back in some of my files. I found where I wrote down or typed out all those lyrics, and what the heck? I gave it to an AI program that put it to music. The final product did not come out like I remember hearing it. It's a little bit speedier, a little bit faster, and a little bit more pop, if you will, from what I remember hearing. But I was just astonished that, you know, something that I just pulled out of whatever the nether regions are in my brain here.
Yeah, that could be turned into a song.
Yeah, and so it took that and made it into a song. And what's funny is, you know, I was, I guess what's the right word for it? I was enamored with it. I thought that was really cool, even though it wasn't really what I had originally heard.
Yeah.
But then it was also a little bit scary in the same part, because I've been reading a lot of the articles about songwriters, and they're concerned with AI, you know, either creating lyrics or creating music without an artist.
Right.
And you know, when I put this together, and then at the end when I had my finished product, I thought, wow, that's a real concern.
Yeah.
Even though I love what I just made, I thought, wow, if I was a real music artist, yeah, I could see how I would be concerned about this.
Yeah, because somebody else could work with it.
So in 2 hours sitting at the desk in my office, I went from just song or lyrics on a sheet that I wrote 4 or 5 years ago to now I have a whole finished product.
And we have a video.
Yeah,
of
made
the whole
a video
entire
with it
thing.
and everything. So
well, before we show the video, how did it make you feel?
It was just like going back to that emotional side that I had when I realized that I wasn't going to be working as close with some of those kids anymore that I used to. But it was a good thing, because, you know, I had done my turn, and I feel like the kids that worked with me and under me and all the things that we did when I was a Scoutmaster, and I got to see them grow. I got to see them bloom, if you will. And it was just an extraordinary experience to see them, like I said earlier, just become better versions of themselves.
I think that I've gone through about the same thing, because right now I'm no longer teaching private students, and I've had some exceptionally talented people to work with.
So, yeah.
And it means a lot to me when I see them move on and move up, and it doesn't matter if they do music or not, but I know that somewhere in their lives it's going to touch them.
Exactly.
And I'm often told that, and it's a good feeling that you have inspired someone a bit.
It is.
And I know you've inspired a ton of young people. And old people too, like me.
Yeah, well,
I was very inspired when I read it. I think maybe it's time for us to show the video right now. We're going to show the video of Daffodils.
Yes, it's called Daffodils.
In my life there's been many thrills, many spills and many chills. These are the things that made me who I am. You'll never hear wish I could go back. The bad parts just fade to black, and those that don't, well, they just come back like a thunderstorm and rain clouds over daffodils. The tough times make you who you are, complete with tears and all the scars. Just hold on, don't think of letting go. Good parts come in between. Life is tough, but ain't always mean. Don't let a rocky road take all your steam. Like an early rain in springtime over daffodils. The sun still rises and the moon will set. Sometimes just okay is as good as it gets. That's when you decide if you settle for less, or if you persevere and do your best. But when that day comes, your light will shine. It'll be so bright, we'll all be blind. All you need is that spark to show us who you really are. And one day from your rocking chair, you'll look on your life and how you got there, and on all the things that made you who you are. You'll think of those that came and went, and all the time that you have spent helping them make their way and to shine their light like a golden ray of sunshine over daffodils. Like a golden ray, like a golden ray of sunshine over daffodils. Like a golden ray, update from your rocking chair. You'll look on your life and how you got there, and on all the things that made you who you are. You'll think of those that came and went, and all the time that you have spent helping them make their way and to shine their light like a golden ray of sunshine over daffodils. Like a golden ray of sunshine over daffodils.
That's beautiful. I mean, this has moved me emotionally. I had tears in my eyes because I think this inspiring young people, that's kind of what triggered in me, and there's so much that just giving them the opportunity to expand and spread their wings and do whatever. But
That's right.
I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, I can see it on on the top of the list of songs recorded that people love.
Yeah, well, I would not put myself at that height, but I appreciate that.
I do.
But,
I loved it. I think it was beautiful, and I hope you'll do that again. I hope you'll. I love the fact that you were inspired in a dream.
Yeah, I can't explain it. It's just one of those things. You know, most of the time I wake up and I can't remember what I just dreamed.
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, I'm glad I wrote it down. Not necessarily because of what the product was, but you know, at the end, like you said, it is important.
Who actually sang?
The AI.
Oh,
that's a computer-generated voice.
Is that not amazing?
I played no instrument. All I did was gave it the words and the genre, and it took it from there. Yeah.
That just amazes me.
And I think that's one of the cool things. Well, it's cool and scary, is that our current technology eliminates gatekeepers. There is no more book agent or music. Well, there is, but their role is definitely evolved with this, because like I said, I mean, that's just 2 hours at my desk. So imagine, you know, an artist, take somebody like Dustin Lynch, who's out recording, performing, real songwriting, not what I did. But you know, for them, I can see how that could be a little bit of a threat, because
of course,
not that I'm saying that was great, but if you said that you could see it on TV.
I loved it, and I'm very critical, and I don't like everything.
Yeah.
But I love the message, and I love the way it came about, and I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to hear it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
What is the next in your life?
Well, my podcast is still going. It's been a little bit on hold. I've been finishing up a lot of schooling and things that I had to get done.
And that's still ghost stories.
Oh, yes. I've got a new one that's about to come out. I just finished the script yesterday, and so I'm going to start recording it hopefully either tonight or tomorrow to get out there. So I enjoy creating stuff, and I hope that if anybody takes anything from that, it's that, you know, I am 50 years old, and technology was just coming online when I was around the teenage age. So I was lucky that I was on the leading edge of that, but I don't think age is a barrier to any of that anymore. You can create anything. You can write a book. You can write a song. I mean, look at what that was.
Look what, I know. So don't think you can't do anything.
That's right. There is no barriers anymore. So all
because if you can think, was it Walt Disney said, if you can think it, you can do it?
That's right. That's right.
And I believe that.
Then there's an author that has a quote that it gets attributed to Abraham Lincoln quite a bit, but he didn't actually say it. But William Thackeray said, "Whatever you are, be a good one."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do.
Whatever it is.
And there's no barriers to being a good one anymore.
I mean, if you're collecting garbage, be a good one.
Be good at it.
And we need to love those people, by the way, because we need them. And there's a lot of jobs out there that I think are wonderful. I don't see a difference in any job. It's just that if it makes you happy and puts food on your table.
That's right.
What can I say?
Well, and even that, like I said, I'm not a songwriter, and I'm dangerous but not effective with music. But AI did that for me. So if you're sitting at home trying to figure out what you can do, with our technology the way it is right now, there is nothing you can't do.
That's just amazes me. And you know, at my age and the way I came up with when technology started, I was lucky to even be able to be involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
My husband, for instance, died 20 or 21 years ago, and I was taking a class at Motlow to learn to do the computer because it was just so new to me. And I said, now I can give you the lessons as soon as I come home. I'll give you, he says, I'm not touching it. I don't have time. I'm not going to live that long. And he was right. He was right. He just didn't want it. He said, I just don't want to do something new right now.
Yeah, and that's okay.
So he didn't learn it.
Think
he
that's
did
okay.
not.
Even with AI, I mean, that's obviously more recent to us now. But when we did that class project, you know, we just threw the idea out there. But then once we fed the information in, what we got back out was extraordinary.
It was just phenomenal. Were you just excited?
Well, yeah, because, you know, I could almost see myself going to a concert and hearing, not that, but I mean, what we created in the class. You know, it's just extraordinary, the tools that are available to us now that, you know, I think back to when I was a kid, like you said, my dad was not interested in computers or video games or any of that stuff. So he was kind of the same way. He's like, no, get outside and figure out something to do.
Go get fresh air.
Yeah, go get some fresh air, you know. And so I think folks in my generation and younger, I don't really think there's any excuse for not doing anything that you want to do.
And nothing should stop you.
That's right.
My grandson is deep into computers, and he's studying cybersecurity, I think,
Yeah.
And
it's a hot industry
there's
right
just
now.
and important.
Yes, very
important
much
in this
so.
day and time. Well, Lyle, I guess I'm supposed to wrap this up at some point. If you've got anything you want to talk about, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, again, like I said, I appreciate you having me on this morning. It's always great to come see you and
I love
John.
that you came because I don't read that much on Facebook that inspires me. There's a lot of things that just depress me.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to read it.
I've kind of made it a personal mission of mine that, you know, anything that I put on social media that's mine is going to be positive. It's too easy to go negative.
It is. You're right.
And so if I see something that inspires me, or if I get the chance to create something that I wanted to share with everybody like that, you know, that's what
awesome.
my social media will be.
Yeah. And that's the way we all should be, because there's enough negativity in the world.
Plenty.
All right, Lyle Russell, I love what you do.
Thank
Keep
you,
it
Peggy.
up.
I
Don't
appreciate
stop. We'll be back with more things.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch. And John, we are here today for segment 65 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
That's when I graduated from high school, 65.
65.
That was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was good. Had a good time. I liked high school a whole lot. But we're going to talk about some sports.
Most school people liked school. I loved school.
Yeah, I did
Loved
too. I couldn't see why people wouldn't like it. But this little song, I'm going back in the archives a little bit of my memory and pulling out some of these songs that I wrote. And this was a parody. I think we talked about that one other time, you know, about using a tune that already was there, and I put words to it.
Not everybody from Forest High knows what a parody is, John. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, thank you, Pat. Here it is. 26 years of my life I gave to pick guitar in Nashville. 26 years of my life I gave to be a star in Nashville. I'm a-going there where the money's free. Music Square is a-calling me. Oh, what a big star I will be there in Music City. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls want to be squeezed. I'm gonna make my debut at Opryland when I get to Nashville. Get me a bus and my very own band when I get to Nashville. I'm gonna set up shop on Music Row, giving lessons to old Hank Snow. You just watch this old country boy go when I get to Nashville. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls wanna be squeezed. Well, I'm a-going there if I have to crawl all the way to Nashville. Date Dolly Parton and that ain't all when I get to Nashville. When I get there, I'm gonna change my name, write a hit song about an old freight train. They'll hang my picture in the Hall of Fame when I get to Nashville. I'll sing it. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pool money grows on trees, and all the girls want to be squeezed. I bet you've never heard that song before, Pat.
I've heard parts of it.
You know, Jimmy, you know, you noticed at the song, a lot of those people, of course, Dolly Parton's married. I'm married. You got
Blissfully.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about Dolly, but yes, I am on this end of things. And then Hank Snow is no longer with us. He passed away several years ago. So a lot of that was written a long time ago. And like you can tell, I struggled remembering the words, but I think I got through it.
You didn't have to quit, John.
I didn't have to quit, so that was a good thing. But what are we talking about today, Pat?
Well, the music certainly doesn't provide much of a segue. However,
not every song does.
No. We've had some, we have had some good programs come out of a non-segue, and today will be one of them, we hope. UTSI has been a great, made great contributions to Tullahoma, provided great jobs, and it's been a great kind of showcase for our area and for the state. But not many people realize that UTSI has a sports background, and I did not realize that until yesterday at a barbecue at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I found out that in 1977, UTSI had a rugby club team that engaged in battle with the University of Tennessee, MTSU, Vanderbilt, and Auburn.
Wow.
And it got its footing in a local establishment that has late night hours, and it was frequented by 3 or 4 graduate students seeking some relief from their studies. And they found several look like past athletes or athletes that could be described either way in the establishment, and asked them if they'd ever played rugby. Not only nobody had played rugby, nobody had heard of rugby. But as they described it, several felt
sort of like football.
It's kind of like football without helmets, and which would have fit these boys really well. The problem was none of them would have been termed at that point, nor would they have accepted the term of being a rocket scientist. So it made a really kind of incredible combination. And I guess these club sports, you don't even have to be enrolled, because these boys definitely were not enrolled. Philip put up that, this is from 1977 Tullahoma News, and I believe UTSI was in striped jerseys, rugby shirts, and the gentleman on the left, it looks like he's signaling touchdown in American football, is Bill Hain. He was a year or two older than I, and maybe what made him legal was that his brother Joe was in charge of facilities at UTSI, and I believe he still is. The gentleman in the middle who's jumping up is Tim Stubblefield, who is with the fire department and a great, and he's also a county commissioner. And the smaller guy on the right in the striped shirt is an actual grad student. So he had real ties to UTSI. This game they lost to MTSU 16-14, but that year they beat Vanderbilt and they beat Auburn. How about the second piece? That is also from 1977, and I believe to the far left is Bobby Nichols, who has been in Tullahoma a long time, and then there's 2 guys on the right, and those are our friends, the Banks brothers. Kenny is the furthest to the left of the 2, and Randy is on the far right. And if anybody will see their legs, they needed Michael Jordan length shorts at that time. They both of them a little bit thin in the leg department. And they are highly competitive people, and I think these graduate students were probably surprised at the lengths that those boys would go to try to make UTSI victorious, but neither one of them has ever been accused of being rocket scientists at the same time.
Pat, that's an ugly thing to say about
Well, John, nor you or I would be described as a rocket scientist.
You're correct.
Rocket scientist. But it's great that we live in a community that has.
One thing that I noticed moving from where I was to Tullahoma, the diversity in the community. People at UTSI, AEDC, the Air Force people who come in, they bring a lot of different ideas and life experiences to Tullahoma that we're not familiar with sometimes.
Correct. And
can I tell a story on Tim Stubblefield?
Sure.
I was a coach teacher at East Junior High School at this time, and one day I was a physical education teacher, and we were into wrestling during that time. And I got a child came over to my gym and said, Mr. Rickman, Mr. Saunders, Charlie Saunders, and Tim Stubblefield would like to wrestle.
And Mr. Saunders was the...
he was a history teacher.
And I student taught under him in 1975 in the old East building, the old high school building.
And Tim, I suppose, was a 9th grader at that time. I really don't know. It might have been an 8th, but I know probably a 9th
We're
grader.
still back in history then, because that'd been either 77 probably or...
Now,
no.
here's a teacher. Yeah. Here's a teacher and a student that's been in the classroom, and somebody has said, Mr. Saunders probably to him, I bet you couldn't beat Tim. Tim was strong as an ox. He was... As a child, a youngster, he was just, he was strong. And so anyway, yeah.
He was probably bigger than Charlie in the 9th grade too.
Well, but anyway, they came in, all the students gathered around the mats, and I had my whistle, and I was the referee. And I made sure that, that things went on without any problem. So Mr. Saunders and Tim began to wrestle, and next thing you know, Mr. Saunders is on his back, and Tim's about ready to, pin him, and I think, this is too quick. I can't let Tim beat him so quickly. So I said, no, that's an illegal hold. We're gonna stand you back up. We're gonna stand you back up.
Start over.
Well, wasn't any time to Tim.
A mulligan. Gave him a mulligan, a wrestling mulligan.
Tim had him down again, and that was settled after that. And so Tim beat Mr. Saunders. Now, I don't know if things like that could go on today, but
probably
things were
not.
different back at that time, and we sure had a good time. And I laugh about that today, and I don't know what Mr. Saunders does. But
flinches probably.
But Tim Stubblefield, we love you, old buddy, and all those people who played rugby back that time.
Don, not many people know that UTSI was involved in interscholastic athletics at a high end in 1977, and many people know that Tim Stubblefield whipped Charlie Saunders in your PE class. But that probably wraps up segment 65 of the conversation with John and Pat, and we're so desirous of coming back because we have more stories to tell. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Saul, how's my water quality expert? Litter is taking a holiday and going with the flow? Is that what you're saying? Litter on our roadways is flowing into our waterways. Gotcha. And that's bad. Right, terrible. Please stop. Oh, okay, yeah. Go to NobodyTrashesTennessee.com to learn more. So, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I'm often harping on the South Jackson Street Band because I think it's so important to our community to have a place for our musicians to play and share their music. Today we'd like to show a video from the Ice Cream Social recently where South Jackson Street Band played and people danced and people listened, and I think we have Tennessee Waltz.
South Jackson Street Band is Middle Tennessee's premier big band. Visit our website, sjsband.com.
This has been a Ron Hackett Music video production.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Big show, a lot of stuff going on. Lyle.
Oh, yeah.
Lyle the crocodile. I love that guy. He's one of my heroes. He and Winston Brooks are two of my big heroes in Tullahoma.
They've done a lot for this town and
lot,
this whole
done a
community.
lot. I'm just glad that they're both still here.
I know. We've been very blessed.
We sure have.
in this
We
town.
sure have. And Lyle does everything from, if you haven't read his resume that was printed about him having the job that he has now with the city, this guy's unbelievable what he's done.
Plus, he's very down to earth. We had an injured turkey hopping around on our place, and I called him up, and he came right out, stopped what he was doing to hunt that turkey. And of course, by the end, the turkey was gone, but the turkey obviously had a broken leg or something because he was just on one foot, and Lyle was going to take him home and help him
Fix
get better.
him up, man.
He gets owls and falcons.
And then, you know, what he
name it.
did at the, and I'm glad that he has the job he has. I'm sorry to see him go from where he did, because you just don't find a Lyle Russell every day.
No, you don't.
Who can do the things he did for the Parks and Rec Department.
Right.
And he assured me, as we were having conversation, that he was not going to give that stuff up. He was
Good.
still going to have his finger in that pie over there.
Well,
so
he's an
that's a
awesome
good
individual.
Thing. That's a good thing.
I
So,
think there are very few people that just give completely out.
yeah, we're getting ready to go, CJ. CJ's hollering, hey, bye, folks.
Is it up
We love
for us
you.
to say goodbye?
See you
Okay.
next time.